Just a few years ago, CallMeCarson was one of the most beloved and influential content creators around. Nowadays, his channel is a shell of its former self. His reputation and career have been damaged beyond repair. Not to mention, it seems all his friends who rose to the top alongside ditched him, some of whom went on to find even greater success without him. How does this happen? How does one go from being at the forefront of a renaissance of a long-abandoned style of content, being viewed by tens of millions of people, to just another decently sized creator? This is the story of Carson King, from his meteoric rise to his downfall. At a young age, Carson started producing YouTube videos. You could still find a lot of these videos, going as far back as 2011. For the most part, these channels garnered almost no attention. And it makes sense. The quality was pretty bad, as he was just a kid trying to mimic what he saw other people doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think most YouTubers today have uploaded some form of quote-unquote cringe content when they were younger. In 2014, one of these many channels of Carson's started to garner some attention. At the time, PewDiePie debuted a few videos centering around a fictional character named Falcon Lover. The character was a parody of children on YouTube, who self-promoted in comment sections. The joke in the videos being Falcon Lover eventually realizes he's a giraffe. A few people made channels pretending to be the character, to try and capture some of the popularity, as the Falcon Lover videos by PewDiePie all have around 10 million views. One of these people was Carson. While he certainly wasn't the most successful person to try this, I think he did the best job at continuing the joke PewDiePie started. The other person, who achieved over 100,000 subscribers doing this, started posting skit content and the likes. Carson kept to having an extremely lo-fi style, which better fits the character PewDiePie created.
Fun story, actually. When I was like 13 or 14 or 15 maybe, I don't remember, I made a channel called Falcon Lover because I saw a PewDiePie video where he made a fake account and then read through a bunch of comments of this fake YouTube account. And then I made an account called Falcon Lover and uploaded a bunch of videos to it, and PewDiePie subscribed. It almost feels unironic. There are a lot of people making fake channels of Falcon Lover. These are not real. No wonder PewDiePie subbed. This is awesome.
Carson posted a few videos before the channel went inactive for a few years, only to return briefly to post a video titled "Subscribe to CallMeCarson" in early 2018. And this is around the beginning of the rise of CallMeCarson. After trying to achieve internet fame for years, Carson was about to make it big. He had years of practice creating content under his belt, and he was no longer a child. He began streaming live on Twitch and posting videos on YouTube, and all of his hard work over the years was about to pay off. From the looks of it, he started gaining success on videos where he and his friends read and discussed funny things they found online. At the time, this was a popular style of content on YouTube, but Carson's personality, and who he had co-host the videos, really made them stand out. Over time, these videos started to receive millions of views, and people started to become genuine fans of Carson and his friends. His uptick in popularity allowed him to start collaborating with other rising or well-established stars, like JSchlatt and Quackity. Eventually, starting in 2019, Carson began collaborating with some of the internet's biggest stars, as he was becoming one of them. He hit 1 million subscribers in early 2019. Remember, his career was only just beginning to start for real in 2018, and he hit one of the biggest milestones a content creator can in about a year.
Thank you guys all for 1 million subscribers. This has been my dream since I was about 11, so I really can't overstate how joyful I am about this. When I hit 100K, I cried, but hitting 1 million was just surreal.
Now that he had an established audience, he was about to unknowingly help cause a renaissance of Minecraft content. On February 23rd of 2019, one of Carson's friends recommended they open up a survival server for content creators to play on together. The reason being for nostalgia's sake. Carson seemed to be mostly against this idea at first, and that's understandable. Minecraft's popularity had faded, And so did the popularity of the original generation of Minecraft content creators. However, with the launch of SMP Live, the revival of Minecraft content would soon start to take off. Now, I'm not trying to say Carson is the sole reason the game became just as popular as it was half a decade prior. However, he definitely played a huge role by starting the server. SMP Live, short for Survival Multiplayer Live, was a mix of mostly new rising stars, but also older names stopping by to capitalize on its popularity, including creators like Infinum and Sky Does Minecraft. Consider this to be a passing of the torch. The people who helped make the game popular in the first place years ago, giving their blessing to a whole new generation of creators who grew up watching them, now making the game popular again. It's wholesome if you think of it that way. SMP Live's popularity wasn't due solely to the fact a bunch of rising creators played on it in viral clips, but also due to the fact the audience got to participate. If you donated money to a streamer, you could give them the task of game overing another streamer who was playing on the server. And since both players had to be streaming to be on the server, you got to see two different perspectives of the same conflict. It was a really neat idea to help generate content, revenue, and get the audience directly involved. Obviously, something like SMP Live doesn't last forever, and eventually it closed and new SMPs got made, like SMP Earth, the QSMP, and the Dream SMP. However, its short-lived life of less than a year was huge. You can find videos with millions upon millions of views of creators playing on the server. And the success of the server helped bring back Minecraft content, which led to the birth of careers of countless creators. And Carson's view count just kept on rising. In May 2019, he posted his most viewed video ever, a spelling bee he hosted that received over 20 million views. He appeared in PewDiePie's 2019 Rewind, which just continues to prove how influential he was at the time. Although the success seemingly started to weigh on him, Carson did what he called a serious stream about the fan culture around him and his associates. If you aren't familiar, the audience around these creators were, and still are, extremely dedicated and passionate. A lot of them based their entire online presence around the communities these creators built, running fan pages and the likes. These people are often called stans, which stems from the famous Eminem song about a delusional and obsessive fan. The name Stan is believed to be a mix of stalker and fan, although that's never been confirmed by M himself. The term Stan is sometimes used in a joking and ironic way. But Carson was specifically talking about audience members who were crossing boundaries, as some of them were making him and his friends uncomfortable, and felt like some fans were depersonalizing them. Specific issues raised were with fanfictions and shipping. Fanfictions are fan-made stories written, usually with copyrighted characters from sources like anime and My Little Pony. Shipping is normally when you pair two characters you think would be good together as a couple. However, fans were writing these stories and doing these ships with him and real people he knew. While some of his friends were okay with being shipped, some weren't. Carson's friend group also didn't like the stories their fans wrote about them, with Carson citing some pretty graphic examples he saw that he said were not okay. The YouTube upload of the stream was well received, with the top comments sympathizing with the creators. After getting that out of the way, Carson continued making extremely popular content, with a clip compilation he posted in April 2020 receiving over 18 million views. It seemed nothing could slow him down. Even him crying wouldn't, as a photo of him crying while playing Minecraft became a super viral meme, being seen millions of times. Carson had achieved something even most successful YouTubers never do. He had established himself as a figure in popular culture. He was someone who had action figures made of him. To further cement himself as a mainstream internet celebrity, in May 2020, he co-hosted and was a judge on a Discord talent show alongside Quackity and Pokimane. At the time, Pokimane was one of the main faces associated with the Twitch brand itself. This was the second time he was one of the judges. This series by Quackity also saw judges, such as YouTuber, boxer, and musician KSI, and Mr. Beast, who is now the biggest content creator on YouTube. While in the past he seemed to struggle to start a content group, around this time in early 2020 he launched the Lunch Club YouTube channel officially. The channel was short-lived, however, and some of the members stopped interacting with Carson. At the time, no one really questioned it, considering the fact there was a worldwide shutdown, and that was the reason given for why Lunch Club would officially disband in November 2020. However, the general public would find out the real reason why later on. But we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. At the time, that was drama that was only behind the scenes. Before Carson entered the controversy that basically destroyed his career, he got himself into a different controversy that made him seem invincible. At some point around early 2020, Carson appeared to be in a relationship with another streamer named Caterino. She wasn't a huge streamer, but her appearance with Carson and how they acted together on stream brought her a lot of attention. The way it seemed, they were an item, with fans of the streams making clip compilations of the two acting like a couple on stream. Remember that serious stream he did? Well, he said he was fine being shipped with Caterino.
I think there's a difference between shipping people that clearly are fine with the shipping and are encouraging it, such as me and Kate or Fitz and Pokimane, which is putting it up for a bit. Very much, we're encouraging it.
However, Carson would bring attention to a comment on Reddit that said Caterino cheated on Carson with one of his associates, Fitz, who was alongside Carson as a judge during one of Quackity's talent shows. This happening would cause a lot of outrage, with thousands of people attacking Caterino, upset that she seemingly took advantage of Carson's success to get some for herself. People were also upset with Fitz. The way the audience viewed it, Fitz was Carson's friend. The outrage was so bad that Fitz and Caterino had to issue public apologies to Carson. Caterino's video received over 400,000 dislikes to only 13,000 likes. People were extremely upset, and what wasn't helping was it was believed she cheated on Carson with more than just Fitz. Carson would also apologize to Caterino and Fitz, saying it wasn't something he should have made public. What this situation proves was how beloved Carson was. Normally, it's the guy who gets cheated on that gets made fun of by the entire internet. And while he definitely was made fun of by some people, it felt like almost the whole internet rushed to his defense. I remember I read one comment from around this time period, and it said something like, "Picking a fight with Carson is like picking a fight with the entire internet." The end of 2020 seemed good for Carson. He got to do a stream with the biggest YouTuber at the time, PewDiePie, but he also made what became a bitterly ironic tweet. Carson would reply to JSchlatt, "Just imagine how bad 2021 will be." And in response, JSchlatt asked if he was going to get cheated on again. They seemed to be in good spirits at the time. However, in December 2020, JSchlatt and Carson seemingly had their final interaction as friends, which was unknown to the audience at the time. Carson would reply to a few more tweets from JSchlatt afterwards, but he never replied back, and we would soon find out why. The mightier the pedestal the audience stood Carson on top of, the mightier the fall. At the beginning of the new year, Keemstar, the host of Drama Alert, started claiming on Twitter he had a story on Carson sexting with minors. While promoting his upcoming video, he tweeted at Carson multiple times for a comment. And then on the same day, January 4th, 2021, Keem published the video. In it, 2 members of Lunch Club claimed Carson sexted with a fan that was underage. Some members of the YouTube community were very critical of Keemstar. Giving someone only a few hours to respond to a pedophilia allegation isn't good journalism. What Keem was doing on Twitter led to creators such as musician Rusty Cage to say he was handling the situation incorrectly. Same day the allegation was made, some of Carson's ex-associates started making statements. Fitz just tweeted out the word "yep" and got 80,000 likes off of it. Anything for Views made a quickly deleted tweet in response to Fitz, where he claimed Carson lied about the Caterino situation. Further statements from Carson's associates would continue into the next day, and they basically all disavowed him. Members of the commentary community were critical of the situation. Augie RFC made a video that received a lot of attention. In the video, he criticizes the lack of information in Keem's interview regarding what happened with Carson, honing in on the fact that even the age of the girl wasn't present. Augie would go on to correctly predict the age gap of the main allegation. being Carson talked to a 17-year-old while he was 19.
Like, if he was like, let's say he was like 19 and he was dealing like a 17-year-old or whatever, would anybody really give a fuck? Probably not, all right?
In his video, Augie also speculated that Keemstar was sitting on more information. His theory being Keem was trying to bait Carson into making a public statement, and then try to catch him in a lie, because that was the only way Augie could justify Keem pushing such a serious allegation with almost no evidence or information behind it. Keemstar responded on Twitter, denying this. The 5th and 6th contained the most statements made, a very important one being from Slimesicle, who claimed he's known what Carson did since early 2020. What makes Slimesicle's statement so notable being he claimed after finding out Carson was talking to a 17-year-old at age 19, he reported Carson to federal law enforcement. He said the reason he never spoke about it was because this was a situation involving a federal felony and a child. It was not internet drama. While Slimesicle's statement was well received by his audience, obtaining about 250,000 likes, some streamers had an issue, such as liberal streamer Destiny, who mocked him for reporting such a small age gap to federal law enforcement.
19-year-old guy talking to a 17-year-old girl, and you're literally and you're exposing this dude like he's a pedophile. And then all of Carson's little virtue signaling friends, when Carson's like, hey guys, like I sexted with a 17-year-old, like, oh, I had to report him to the police, and be like, the fuck, dude, what are you serious? The 19-year-old guy sexting with a 17-year-old person, like, really? You're gonna go report that dude to the police? Like, give me a break. Give me a break.
This was only the beginning of the statements against Carson. An ex-associate named Joko called Carson's actions predatory and criticized anyone who defended him. Jaden Animations quietly took down her recent collaboration with Carson. On the 6th, JSchlatt uploaded to one of his many YouTube accounts called The Weekly Slap. This is a channel JSchlatt uses to talk about more serious topics and try to give advice. The aesthetic of this channel is based on old school Call of Duty commentary videos, where the creators show off their Call of Duty gameplay while just talking over the footage about anything they want. In his video, he explains why he isn't friends with Carson anymore. He said Carson told him what he did and how he felt bad about it.
He had been sexting his fans. He explained that he had exchanged photos with the 17-year-old while he was 19 and that he was done with it. He hadn't done it in months. He was ashamed of what he had done.
Carson was also going through a hard time due to the Caterino situation, so JSchlatt tried to be there for him.
So I was there for him. You know, I would be in calls with him all the time, talking about anxiety, mental health, what it means to have this job, and how not to let it drive you up the wall, all that kind of stuff. And in that time, I got extremely close to him. I wouldn't call it best friends, but he was up there. And right after Carson had told us the truth, the Kate situation happened. And, you know, regardless of what we felt about the Kate situation, we saw Carson's mental state decline even more. And it was to the point that we genuinely thought his life could be in danger. And I felt like I needed to be there for him. And that's why I stuck with him.
Claiming he would be in Discord calls with Carson for hours trying to help him. Sometimes these calls went on until the sun came up.
In March and April, we'd be in calls with him almost every night till the sun came up, trying to help him through what he was going through. And I just want to say, like, I never condoned what he had done. I remember a call with him and Josh where both of us basically said to him, like, dude, if this behavior continues, we're done.
However, after learning Carson wasn't improving and continuing to re-engage in bad behaviors, he felt he had to cut ties.
And he was showing signs of continuing some of his inappropriate behavior. And apparently this was happening while I was spending all this time trying to help him. And while he was saying that he was working on himself and that he was changing and that he hates the person he used to be.
He also made sure to say he doesn't believe Carson is a pedophile, but he also felt Carson sexting with a 17-year-old fan was inappropriate.
Also, seeing the DMs he exchanged with some of the girls that have come forward absolutely fucking disgusted me. Up until yesterday, I thought that all these encounters Carson had were very much, you know, spur-of-the-moment mistakes that he regretted instantly. And that was very much the story that everybody was told. And knowing what we do now, it's simply just not the case. This was something he pursued. I don't think Carson's a pedophile, but that's what he did. He used his power to repeatedly take advantage of vulnerable people. I don't know what causes this to happen. I don't know what compels content creators to do this, but it happens. And it's a big fucking problem.
Jaden would support his video in the comments. It seemed to only be looking worse for Carson, as screenshots of him texting with girls started to get attention. The thread leaking these was made prior to the release of Keemstar's video, although it seems it didn't start to get attention until afterwards.
I think that, because does anyone even know who these girls are?
I mean, I don't.
No one
Yeah,
knows
no,
who the
but-
girls are. We just know that Carson, confessed to his friends that he was doing this.
The most notable screenshots come from a girl named Sam, who claims they had a relationship with Carson when she was 17 and he was 19. At the very beginning of the thread, she called Carson a pedophile and a groomer, although she later did walk back the pedophilia claim, apologizing for using the word incorrectly. Although she did walk it back, the post calling him a pedophile did receive tens of thousands of likes. A lot of the screenshots do look bad. In one, Carson asked when she turned 18, and in another, Sam apologized for replying with delay to Carson, claiming it was due to the fact she was in school. Keem would tweet out another claim from a different girl, in which she said he was 20 and she was 17, although she had no proof of anything outside of the fact Carson sent her an apology at one point. Keemstar would post a video onto Twitter, claiming what Carson did doesn't make him a pedophile, but he claimed it was still wrong and illegal.
Carson wouldn't be a pedophile. This is like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing. They're only a couple years apart from each other. The problem in these scenarios is that, according to Carson himself and the post that he made on his Discord, he exchanged nudes with people that are under the age of 18. And when you do that, that is a crime. See, and also people talk about the power dynamic, and there's a lot of debate around that. I agree. Like, if you're a YouTuber and you have fans that look up to you and they'll do anything for you, and then you go to those underage fans and start soliciting nudes, no matter how old you are, where it's when you're soliciting the nudes, it's a crime. I think that's a fucked up situation, right?
In this video, he also mentioned another allegation regarding Carson talking to a 16-year-old girl when he was 19, but I couldn't find any information about that. Keem said in the video he didn't even know if that one was real.
And the scenario that's been put forth that I've seen and the allegations that I've seen, there was a situation where Carson was 19, the girl was 17. I've seen this other situation, which I don't even know if this is even remotely true yet. I have to look at it deeper. But the girl was 16, Carson was 19.
But even if those two other allegations are 100% truthful, at the very worst, the Carson situation is actually a 3-year age gap instead of a 2-year one. However, the 2-year one is the only one I've seen that's 100% confirmed to be true. Also around this time, Carson was accused of playing a 40-minute game for over 100 hours. The game's plot is about a 14-year-old girl who is sexually assaulted in her pregnancy afterwards. This allegation got some attention during the height of the drama, but has been mostly forgotten, and I never found any statement from Carson regarding it.
He has a game on his Steam log called Pregnancy. Pregnancy is a game about a 14-year-old girl in Hungary where she gets pregnant and is looking for advice on her future pregnancy. He has clocked in 107 hours per game, you can be in 40 minutes. Like, this could literally just be like, it's funny to have Steam saying like, currently playing pregnancy.
Leaked messages from Carson would not stop coming out, as messages he sent into a Discord server also got out. He admitted the messages with Sam were real, and that he felt they were gross and that he wanted to vomit. But he maintained it was just a small age gap. However, it was regrettable and he apologized privately, and it was resolved the year prior. That was until Keemstar got a hold of it, and it was now public on the 7th. Another ex-associate of Carson's named The Narrator made a long video listing out their grievances with how Carson treated them. The Narrator would disappear from the internet after being accused of sexting with minors. Around this time, Carson would vanish. On the 5th of January, Carson deleted his Discord server with 300,000 people in it and his account, and he disappeared from the public eye for months. With that, the drama sort of tampered down. The allegations and disavowals were made, and Carson walked away. There would be the occasional mention of him, of course. Keemstar made some tweets joking about him here or there. In mid-January, there was a viral clip of someone joking about Carson to JSchlatt.
Shh, stop. What can I do to make this up to you? Because I love you, man. I've always loved your content.
You've always loved my content?
I like you, JSchlatt.
What's your favorite video of mine?
JSchlatt, your response to the Carson situation, it's great. What can I do? JSchlatt.
Around early March, a fake account of Sam would pop up, alleging she lied. On the 8th, Keemstar would debunk it. On March 23rd, PewDiePie cited Carson for why he doesn't do collaborations anymore.
It's kind of awkward when everyone online is just going like, you need to collaborate! Bro, the last guy I collaborated with literally quit his YouTube career. I'm not collaborating with anyone, ever. Okay, I'm collaborating with Felix Schellberg, because he seems real.
While Carson had been seen by no one for months, he started to occasionally reappear at times. Starting on April 5th, 2021, Ludwig, a popular creator, was doing a subathon. A subathon is an event where every time a viewer buys a subscription to the streamer, the stream gets lengthened. Considering Ludwig has a massive audience, his stream went on for weeks non-stop. To keep the stream entertained while he was away from the camera, Ludwig would play videos. One of these videos contained Carson, and so Carson personally texted Ludwig to let him know he should change the video.
Yo. Saved. You want to know who told me that the Carson video is playing? Carson. Send me a text. I was like, oh shit, I'll turn that off. Good call, Carson. Saved. Carson saved us. From Carson.
What occurred afterwards was a series of accidental posts spanning a few weeks. On April 24th, he accidentally posted a video of his cat to his main Instagram story. Weeks later, he accidentally tweeted sex jokes on his Twitter, which were meant for a secret alt account he had. All of these posts were deleted fast, but on Twitter he finally admitted what was going on. On June 19th, he made his first post that was on purpose, and not referring to an accidental post. Carson confirmed he was going to return, but he just needed more time. Despite a poll from back in late April from Keemstar, which showed the audience was split among their opinion of Carson, his tweet announcing his return was very well received, gaining over 100,000 likes. And then in August, he made a brief surprise appearance on Mizkif's stream. This caused a lot of discussion online. Streamers such as Ludwig would weigh in. He made a joke about Epstein, and then said the real reason Carson's friends cut him off wasn't due to pressure from Twitter, but apparently due to Carson lying to them.
I could not think of a more likely person for Carson to make his return stream on than Mizkif's stream. Right? Like, if there's any human on Earth, you know, Mizzy finds out Jeffrey Epstein's in town, not conflating Jeffrey Epstein and Carson. He's like, oh, all right, come on. We're doing a you laugh, you lose. Yeah, I knew Carson was coming back to content. If you don't know, he popped in Mizkif's stream yesterday. LSF loved every second of it. Twitter hated every second of it. And he's going to come back to content creation as a whole. But yeah, I think he will come back. I don't know what it'll look like. The problem isn't even like... The problem is that he just... there's like a weird, I feel like, misconception. Because I feel like everyone on live stream fail community thinks that all of Carson's friends are fake and abandon him because of pressure from Twitter. When the friends that abandon him are the 3 people who fucking hate Twitter the most. Connor Eats Pants, who does nothing but talk shit on Minecrafters and hates being associated with them. JSchlatt, who's also hated by all of Twitter. And Josh, who does nothing but talk about the dangers of parasocial relationships with social media. The people who could not care less about the thoughts of people on Twitter. And the only reason that they left Carson was because he was just a terrible friend. He just lied to him. But I feel like that gets lost, and then there's weird misinformation constantly. It's weird. But everyone likes to just think they know. Does he have a dog? Probably not, because I don't think they'd allow him to go to the groomers.
Although Mizkif later said he regretted having Carson on in October, saying he learned some things afterwards that changed his mind.
CallMeCarson lives there? Dude, I'll say it. That was one of my biggest regrets. There, I'll say it. I don't regret anything. It was one of my biggest regrets. There, I said it. I don't think he's a pedophile in the slightest, right? Anyone who thinks that should just shut the fuck up. Why I regret it is because afterwards I learned things that I didn't know beforehand, And cause I don't follow YouTube people. I don't give a fuck about YouTube people. I don't give a shit about it at all, right? And some friends of mine who know the situation, actually know the situation, talk to me about it and we're like, dude, this is the real reason why we're like upset or whatever. And I didn't know that. I felt really bad afterwards. I'm like, fuck, I feel like a piece of shit now.
Carson would officially return to YouTube on August 25th in a video titled Moving Forward. Most would have assumed this video was going to be him defending his innocence against serious allegations, but that's not what this video was. It seems Carson decided he was just going to let the situation speak for itself. His tweet announcing a comeback months before proved he still had a lot of fans. It seems he just accepted that some people had no issue with what he did and some people had an issue. So he just decided to return, doing his normal content, and dedicated all his income over the next year to charity.
For the next year, I plan to donate 100% of my profits to charity, with a different charity being the focus each month.
Carson was calling this the Year of Charity, and it was going to primarily take place on Twitch. He said this wasn't him trying to sweep drama under the rug. Rather, he said he wanted to take a negative situation with a lot of eyes on it and turn it into something positive.
Now, before you start thinking of this as an excuse to sweep things under the rug, that's not what this is. I'm doing this because I want to turn a negative situation with a lot of eyes on it into something positive that can help a lot of people. I'm going to officially come back to streaming on September 1st at twitch.tv/CallMeCarson live, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about how this year of charity will work. I'm not going to answer any specifics of the situation with me, nor am I going to do anything to cause any more drama than there already is. Genuinely, I just want to do my own thing and raise money for some people that need it more than me.
He had his first stream back on September 1st. He addressed the drama some more, and seemingly after that, just moved on to producing his regular content. And that's what he's doing even to this day.
Okay, so this is just a quick thing. I've seen, I wrote this out so that I would just say it exactly how it is. I've seen a lot of people asking about my former friends and whether or not I've apologized to them or if they'll be coming on stream. I'd like to ask that you don't bother any of them with these questions. Our issues with each other should remain private, and those that want to leave this entire situation behind them should be able to. And that's not referring to me, by the way. I'm talking about other people just don't want to deal with it. If you harass any of my former friends, my mod team will find out and ban you, as that has no place in this community.
I think Carson might have held on to more popularity if he made a video directly responding, and returned to making his standard videos sooner. But even then, a lot of his popularity was due to his creator circle, and pretty much all of those people abandoned him. So maybe that wouldn't have even mattered, and he still would have ended up in the same position he's in right now. Despite Carson's audience now being smaller than it once was, it is still certainly big enough for him to continue having a profitable and successful career. He's been active since his return. While working on this video, I saw him streaming to over 1,000 people across both YouTube and Twitch multiple times. And he still does get a couple 100,000 views a video. These numbers are nothing to scoff at, but when you compare them to what he used to get, it's a big decline. Out of the Lunch Club members, JSchlatt and Slimesicle seem to be doing very well. From what I can tell, Carson hasn't really spoken too much about his old friends, although when he does, he seems to miss them.
When are you gonna play with JSchlatt again? Tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. There's a planned stream.
Keep your eyes out.
Yeah, watch out, guys.
I went
It's gonna
downstairs
pop
and I
off.
hugged him, and now we're good.
Yeah, we're all good now.
JSchlatt really fell off. Yeah, he only gets millions of views now. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're so right, Milky.
But have you seen his buffalo chicken recipe?
Yeah, buffalo chicken tortilla kind of
Buffalo
goes hard.
chicken tortilla recipe.
Also, before we wrap this up, how are creators like Jaden Animations and JSchlatt going to abandon Carson, but stream with Pyrocynical afterwards? A guy who did sexual roleplay over text messages with a 15-year-old boy at age 19. Pyro also had other allegations regarding an underage French girl when he was 18. It's weird he gets to stay within the same orbit of people Carson got kicked out of. With JSchlatt, there does seem to be other behind-the-scenes issues involving Carson that caused the end of their friendship, but there does feel like there's a double standard here. And that's where our story ends. Like I said, CallMeCarson's viewership is now a fraction of what it once was, In April 2020, he was averaging 40,000 people a stream on Twitch. Now he averages 500. While everybody who makes content eventually quote-unquote falls off, Carson didn't face a natural slow decline as the years went on. He rose to the top extremely fast, and as quickly as he rose, he fell due to allegations made against him. And what made the decline even faster was the fact it seemed everybody around Carson vocally distanced themselves.